Hello and welcome. My name is Era T. Green and this is Wise Woman Television. Let me adjust our view here. And I'm bringing you a pick a card reading today on this winter's blessings. So what's coming your way in the winter of 2020? Now, this is a timeless reading. So whenever you land on this video, it is relevant for you then, whether it's spring or fall, if it's 2027, it doesn't matter. This reading is for you if you're here. So first of all, I want to thank you for being here and joining this community and being a part of what we are creating here. I'm so grateful to have you. Second of all, I encourage you to like and subscribe if this resonates for you. Liking ensures this video reaches other people and reaches more lives, and subscribing ensures your own commitment to yourself. If you press the bell icon, you will receive a notification every single time a video comes up, and you will be able to return to your commitment to your own self-growth and awakening. So we will get started. I will go ahead and place a picture of the 3 card piles, and actually we have 4 today, 4 card piles. I'll place those up now. All right, let's get started with card pile 1. So what's coming through? Let me just move this just a tad here. All right, so card pile 1. You're entering a period of peace, of stability, of light. So it's like there's been a period or a chapter of difficulty, of struggle, of challenge. It feels like the past few years have been difficult for you. You've been through a lot of trials and tribulations and self-growth and discovery and reflection and clearing and all the things. And you're just like, I'm done, I'm ready. You're still a little bit in a flavor of those old energies of the past still lingering and hovering in your energy field and in your life. Not everything is perfectly aligned yet in your life in terms of what you truly deeply want for yourself, or what you are actually harnessing and integrating and anchoring into your life now, and what it's going to be in the future for your next chapter. However, this winter has you leaving the past, leaving all of those old energies, leaving the past behind, and stepping into what your greater destiny is, what your life is truly meant to be and feel like and look like. So you have a great blessing coming through. Like, you even have the direct message of heaven sent. You are entering a period of life, of light, of greater abundance, of greater peace, of greater stability, essentially finding your way out of that storm. It's like there's one how do I want to say this? Give me a moment here. So sometimes we're in the storm, sometimes we're walking out of the storm, and sometimes we're able to look back and see that the storm is gone. That's what happens this winter for you. You're able to finally have a clearing, the sun is out, and you're able to look behind you and see that the storm is gone. Now, you're entering, though, that era or that time where, you know how after a storm passes, it's not immediately crazily abundant with bugs again and birds chirping and flowers blooming. Like, it doesn't all happen that quickly. There's like this liminal phase of, you start hearing a few birds chirp. You see a bee buzzing or a wasp over here or whatever, whatever bugs in your neck of the woods or your world. I'm in Florida, which is a tropical climate. So that's what I'm used to when it's hot or when it's spring or summer. So it's not like that full harvest or beautiful spring day or spring garden right off the bat. It's that liminal phase where you can look back and the storm is gone and you're entering a totally new era. Okay, so you're being asked to start planting those seeds of what it is that you want. Start getting even more clear on that right now as you are venturing out on and away from the storm, out of this storm. Start getting really clear, start laying the foundations of what it is that you truly want for your life, because that's going to become more clear as you leave this storm. It's very difficult to see what it is that you truly want or to feel fully alive. I should show my actual shirt, which is Start a Revolution. So just Start A. But you're able to now start laying those foundations, whereas before, again, you might have had some of those lingering old energies. It doesn't help to see us. It doesn't help for us to be able to see clearly. And excuse my language today. I am getting all flippity flop with my tongue today. We don't know why, but hey. And it might have something to do with, because oftentimes what happens in a reading is relevant. It might be that, like, both energies there at the same time, right? The juxtaposition of having the old energies and the new and kind of flippity-floppiting back and forth. And then it's even difficult to put words onto because it's here and then it's there and then it's here and it's there. And you might feel that. You might sometimes feel like you're stuck in the old or stuck in the past, or the storm is still here. And then you feel like, oh, wow, all right, I feel something new. I feel new energies integrating. I feel like the sun is shining again. You know, I feel alive again. But remember, this is that liminal phase. You've entered the clearing. Everything is clearing out. The storm is now behind you. And now, you know, continue because it feels like many of you have already started laying the foundation for your future in your next chapter. You've already picked up on the subtle pieces of what you want your next chapter to look like, your next era, or, you know, whether it be your greater calling and destiny, or just the little pieces and parts of your life that you're putting into place. So you're already doing that. Keep doing that, because that bountiful harvest comes after that. Because as the storm clears, you're actually releasing a lot of your old ways, a lot of your old ways of thinking, a lot of your old ways of, like I said, feeling. Maybe you were wallowing at times, or just feeling really heavy, or really feeling really down, or just not feeling like yourself. You're clearing a lot of that out. Now, it is a choice. You have to choose to no longer feel that way. You know, create practices, use tools to get yourself out of that funk when you find yourself in those old energies again. For a while, those old energies linger until we can learn how to create the space for ourselves, that space that is required of us in order to step into the new, right? So it's that embodiment of the new is what creates the new. Now, it's very difficult to create something different when you're literally underneath a torrential rainstorm and someone's like, okay, I need you to come alive. I need you to feel good. Can you show me dry? And you're like, well, I'm sitting under a torrential rainstorm. It's a little hard to see the light or feel dry. So it may feel difficult then, but that's not what we're asking of you, right? The reading is, hey, the storm is clearing, and then it will be behind you after this winter. So start laying the seeds and getting used to stepping out of the old energies or the old funk when it comes up, because you're releasing a lot of the old limitations that held you back. You're releasing a lot of the old belief systems that weren't even relevant for you, certainly not relevant for your future, more relevant for a past version of you, or more so even for your family or generational cycle. Those don't speak for you. So you went through a whole clearing period so that you could fully own what is coming for you. You know, what is on its way, your greater destiny, your greater calling. That comes through as a result of the clearing that happened during the storm. So a lot of stuff came up, probably inner and outer, and it was helping you to sort of free yourself of all of this old stuff and get used to being able to embody a new energy, embody a new frequency that will then command a new reality. And then it goes on to say that you begin taking those next steps to that next chapter. And I think you already are taking these steps. Again, I feel like many of you have seen the glimpse of the light, right? Groundhog coming out from his hole, and he's seen the light, and he's kind of come out a few times, and he goes back in his hole, and he comes out a few times, and he goes back in his hole. And you, as the groundhog pile one, you leave your hole completely this winter. This is what the winter brings to you, is the ability to anchor in these new frequencies, so to speak, lock them in, and venture out entirely and completely. Now, there is a message here, again, to protect your energy, to protect your life force, to protect your mind space. We could even say perfect. That word came out at first. I am never one to subscribe or suggest perfectionism, because I am a recovering perfectionist. However, what it's saying here is get well practiced and learning to shift your own energy when you're in a funk, when you're in a bad mood, when it feels like the storm has come over you again, except that it's not actually there anymore, right? It's cleared. You need to learn to be able to step out of that funk and step into the truth of you. You know, find a way to step out of those pattern interrupts, right? If you're finding yourself in a funk or feeling low, what are some ways, what are some activities, what are some tools to be able to step into better energy for yourself? And what do you need to protect yourself from? Are there low vibes, people around you maybe that gossip, coworkers that you don't really love or like very much, that you don't get along with, or family members that always tend to bring you down or have a lot to complain about, or think that you're the person, the garbage dump for them to vent to, social media and so on? Are you on your phone too much in terms of how it's affecting your energy? Is there an imbalance in some of your activities in terms of what you're consuming, in terms of what you're doing? Are you overdoing, overworking? Are you finding time for space and rest? So those are the kinds of things that are coming through here for pile one, in terms of taking better care of yourself, taking better care of your energy, and honoring your energy, creating an energy maintenance practice so that you are fully protected, so that you can embody the light, that you can embody the, after the storm, the clearing, the spring harvest, so that you can embody your next chapter and these new frequencies that are going again to call in and command what is coming for you, what is destined for you even. So pile 1, that's what's coming for you this winter. You are stepping into a new era of abundance. Please know that as all of this passes, you are going to be responsible for holding and commanding these new energies and creating a new life. Start planting those seeds for this harvest to come. It is coming. And the good news, again, is that the storm has passed. That chapter of your life is over. You've done the clearing and healing work. It is now time to move on. It is now time to shine. So thank you, pile 1. If this reading landed for you, I encourage you to like and subscribe or share your story in the comments. Also, I do offer both personal readings as well as coaching sessions to support you to bring all of this to life or to support you in your life work and spiritual path. All right, so pile 2. Pile 2, this winter, you are working on something. There is a project, a new birth, something coming through that is either something you've already been working on or something brand new. So obviously it's a group reading. It's not as clear. It feels like a new project of some kind, a new venture, a new adventure. You're stepping into something new and you are being asked, you are being guided. If the inspiration is already here, you're being guided this winter to bring it into form, to bring it to fruition, to begin building it, to begin creating it. To commit to this. Many of you already know what this is. You've been sitting on it, sitting on your eggs. Mama hen, actually a friend of mine and a client mentioned that I really like that, sitting on her eggs, the hen sitting on her eggs. I hope I said that right. Something along those lines. But now it's time to allow those eggs to hatch, which does require your nurturing, which does require you supporting and nourishing whatever it is this new growth is, to flourish and to grow and to thrive. So pile 2, you are bringing something into form. You are manifesting and actualizing something. It is not clear on what that is, and I think it's vague in general because either it doesn't need to be said and or it's unique to each and every one of you. It might also come up in the other layers of the reading as we move forward. Now, here's the thing that's being recommended, though. For those of you who are connected to pile 2, many of you already know what it is that you're supposed to be bringing to life. This is your green light to get going and to get moving. However, there is a very clear, not a warning, but a suggestion and an encouragement to make sure you're taking care of yourself during this process, that you're taking time to break or to rest or to restore, that you are taking the time to take care of yourself, to honor your rhythms, to honor your needs, to honor your energy. Some of you are the type who are, when you know there's a project or an idea and you've now been given the green light by Great Spirit, you're gung-ho and you go for it, but then you treat it like a race or a sprint instead of a marathon, and then you burn out and this project is unable to come to life, this new birth. Now, some of you are birthing something new within yourself. So there's something new happening within you, and I feel that very deeply, and like it feels like I don't have a word for the energy, but it feels like the bustling of life, like something is speeding up, right? It's coming alive and it's happening inside of you. You know what it feels like, when cells, like procreation, the cells divide and they divide and they divide and they divide, on and into infinity. I don't know how many times they divide, but I know it's like 16 and 32 and 64 and so on, and it feels like that, like all this energy is coming into being. Now, for some of you, this is a new aspect or embodiment of yourself, a new version of yourself. I just feel some of you are birthing a new version of yourself, whatever that means for you. But some of you, this feels like a project in your work and career or business or purpose path. We'll see if there's anything else. Some of you, this feels creative. Some of you are birthing a new art form or mastering your craft in a new and unusual or different way and wanting to put that out there and maybe even sell it for the first time. Some of you are writing a book. Some of you are actually going into study. So some of you aren't even necessarily bringing something to life of your own creative endeavor or related to a business or a purpose. Some of you are going to study this winter, and that's going to help you bring something, a next version, a new chapter of yourself into being. So however it applies to you is what it means. Make sure you take care of yourself so that you don't burn out before the harvest comes. But this feels like you're going to be very excited, you're very pleased with yourself, you're very pleased with your work along the way. This inspiration, like I said, for many of you has already come through and you're excited about it. And so now you have this green light, you're going to be even more excited about it, and the door opens wide and you just like kind of want to rush on through. And that's what I'm saying, is you're excited. We want to ground that excitement, and I've had to learn this for myself. To ground the excitement. So, you know, I can very much be this enthusiastic, almost childlike, ready to go spirit. But I have found that, again, that does actually take from my energy reservoirs as well. And it can harm me and hurt me more than actually give to me or affirm for me. And so I've had to learn to ground my excitement. Like, I need to create things in a sustainable way, in a way that honors my energy and honors what I'm working on, and that builds it almost in a slow, rhythmic, natural way, right? Is your work hustle, is your workflow, is your work ethic aligned with nature and its natural rhythms? Or is it more anchored into your conditioning, right? What you learned as a child or in the workforce or in corporate. So if it's based in your conditioning, it's probably not aligned to your soul. So find a work rhythm and workflow and a work hustle that truly honors you and speaks to your spirit. So yeah, this is affirming right here. You already know what this is. Many of you already know what this is. Now, if you don't know what this is, it's already inside of you. It wants to be known. It wants to be revealed. It wants to be born. Give yourself some space and reflection time, and that could also be another message based on the taking a break or taking some space. If you don't know what it is, it's right there. It's inside of you. It's in your energy field. It's available for you. So create the space without force, you know, without staring at it, waiting for the water to boil, or continuing to pour, you know, water on a plant and be like, grow, mother effer, grow. Like, that's never going to work, right? Take a step back and just be with yourself. Focus on your joy, focus on things that light you up, focus on your inspirations, and that's going to be very clear to you. It's something that you already know or are already doing or actively moving toward, and it's a new version, a next level. A lot of you, I'm feeling a creative effort, a creative work, and this is taking your work to the next level. It's breaking the mold. There's a breakthrough essentially that happens, and like I said, apply it to your situation, because even if it's not, you know, creative in the sense that you're a musician or a writer, like again, you might be a student, this might be a business thing, this might be a new venture of any kind, but it's something that feels like it's already there and available for you, and you just have to take the action. And this winter you start taking action on it, which is something that feels really good for you, and you are really excited by this. So also what's coming through here is take care of this like it's your baby, you know. Don't rush it, don't force it, don't put too much pressure on it or on yourself. There's this gentleness, again, of ensuring that the way you approach it is sustainable and honoring of what you are birthing, as well as yourself as the vessel. You are the vessel that is then birthing this. So you want to honor both the end result, the outcome, the thing that you're creating, and yourself, without overdoing it, overthinking it, over manipulating it, you know, just allowing it to come through. Let it be inspired, let it be enjoyable. Again, it's saying answer the call. Pile 2, I love pile 2, because spirit is just like boom, boom, boom. I already said it. We're just affirming it. That's it. Off they go. You know, there's not like a whole lot of extra here. It's a lot of just the same card, essentially the same energy coming through, saying, you know what it is, or it's going to be revealed very soon. Do it. That's it. Oh, and take care of yourself along the way, right? But it says answer the call. This is a calling. This is a part of your destiny. This is there's a confirmation here, an energy of confirmation of a yes with an exclamation point. Again, that green light. Now it's saying here, we keep going back to that same message. Do what you need to do to create a life and a lifestyle, a structure, a creative schedule, or a productive flow that honors, again, both the creative process as well as yourself. And it's not telling me necessarily, and maybe it's because it's a general reading, it's not telling me that there's a particular way that you do things now that's unhealthy or dysfunctional, but clearly, I don't want to say there's not a warning here necessarily, but we want to heed the advice, which is to make sure you're honoring yourself, letting this gestate, letting it be honored, not forcing it to produce or to return a profit right away, just allowing it to be as it is and to grow naturally. The harvest does come. This comes into form. It does come into form because you've committed to that. You already know what this is and you're bursting with excitement. So ground that energy, integrate it into your everyday life, into a lifestyle that honors and supports you and serves the creative process as well as the end result. let it be something that, you know, respects you as well as respects the craft or whatever it is that you're working on. And this comes to life. And it feels like by spring, you know, for many people, they hibernate, or they're in a sabbatical, or they're in a reflection period over the winter, and the harvest comes in spring. It's saying during winter, your blessing is that you begin bringing it into form, and then by spring, there is something to show for that. So whether that is one masterpiece or work of art, whether that is it starts bringing in some money or some morsels or some abundance in some way, whether it is that you feel like fully anchored in yourself and in a totally different mindset and awareness and embodiment of yourself by spring. You have to apply it to your own circumstances, but this is destined, this is fate, this is meant for you. It does come to fruition, so get moving. So that's your answer, or that's your reading for you, pile 2. If this landed for you, I encourage you to like and subscribe, or share your reflections and insights in the comments. I also want to let you know I do offer both personal readings as well as coaching sessions to help you bring these readings to life and to support you in your life work and on your spiritual path. So thank you, pile 2. Okay, so pile 3, we're talking about the blessings coming this winter. Let me pull you guys together a little bit. The other ones came through pretty easily. So it feels like there's a couple things that are coming through here right away. It feels like you're going through maybe a bit of a healing period, maybe a bit of a hibernating period, a bit of a turning inward, reflection, self-discovery period. But I do feel that some of you are releasing old relationships perhaps, or things that have expired that no longer belong in your life or in your energy field. I hope that you'll find the courage inside of you to let go, because even though the cards don't speak to this explicitly or directly, the energy that's coming through is a lot of you maybe going through a grief period already or will be. And I know that the reading is the fortune or the blessings coming this winter. And so I want to be clear that the blessing is in the letting go of whatever this is. And we're gonna go more here into obviously deeper layers of this reading, and we'll have more clarity, more wisdom and guidance for you, and more support. But the first thing that's coming through is it is the blessing to let this go. A lot of you, many of you, it feels like a relationship. Now, if that doesn't land for you, please know it could be something else. Apply it to your circumstances. We might even get more clarity and more examples as we go, but this could be anything. This could be an old job. This could be an old way of doing things, you know. You know, it's like, it feels like old habits die hard. So you're letting go of something, but know that this is going to free you. This is going to liberate you. This is going to bring you everything you could possibly need, want, and desire. It's in freeing yourself from this addiction/attachment. Now, not all addictions are hard addictions. Not all addictions require AA or another group like that. Some of them do. If you're finding that resonates with you, please get the support to encourage yourself to be able to be courageous and leave this behind. But you're closing an old chapter. It's giving you time, though. This winter is a lot of that healing and clearing that must happen in order for you to move on. So it might feel heavy or dense at times, but it's actually a blessing. It's a blessing in disguise. It might not feel great, but this is actually exactly what you need to get you where you want to go. This is destined for you. This is a turn of the wheel. You know, I feel like the wheel of fortune in the tarot, this is a turn of the wheel, and it's turning, and it's time to let go of all these things that are holding you back. And again, it could be a relationship or any attachment or addiction. What I mean by attachment is something that you have tied your worth into, tied your life into, tied yourself into, and identified with, that you have made to be yours, or something that you don't feel complete or whole or happy without. But in fact, a part of your journey is letting that go so that you can discover your wholeness and your completion and your fulfillment and happiness without it. It's learning that detachment, it's learning that freedom, it's learning to thrive without that, so that you become more or less unstoppable. When we're codependent, we're relying on these other pieces and parts of our ever-changing life and world to be happy. We're putting ourselves at risk and doing a disservice to ourselves, such that we put our power and our happiness into or on something else. We let that be the pillar and the say, the authority for our lives. And it's saying, you know, that's not the truth of you. The truth of you is that you are all powerful, that you are complete, that you are whole, all on your own, without that. And then if you find on the other side of all of your shifts and transformation and changes, this is something you want to be a part in your life in small doses or in moderation or in greater balance and harmony, that might be something you can do. But doing it when you're free to choose as opposed to when you feel like you need it are two totally different things. One is codependent, one is in need, one is not in need. One is not true to yourself and true to your soul and your highest self, your higher power, and one is true to you and honors your full power and your full glory. So many of you are realizing and going to be stepping into a clearing period as long as you honor this advice and this kind of omen of like, it's time to let that go. The wheel of fortune is turning. And if you desire more glory, more abundance, more joy, more bliss, it does require you to let go of this. I do feel some emotion inside of me. So I feel like there is some grief here for a lot of you. And my heart goes out to you. It really does. It's hard to let go of those things that don't serve us anymore, that we often know need to go. The wheel of fortune is turning, right? It's destiny or it's fate, but our human might be holding on for dear life because perhaps it's not even that it's been the one thing that's brought happiness and fulfillment. Oftentimes it no longer does, right? It's expired, so it doesn't bring the same level of life, of nourishment, of affirmation. It doesn't bring all of those things that once it may have given us bounty at a time. Oftentimes our addictions at first were exciting, they were thrilling. Our attachments, our relationships, or whatever that is that we've tied ourselves to, they were amazing. And then over time we find they kind of go stale and dull and gray. If it's at that point, then that means it's actually no longer serving you. Now it is hard though for our humans because sometimes those were our only friends. Those were our semblance of security. Those were our one pillars, like the one thing that we know and can hold on to. And you're going to be asked essentially to create new pillars within yourself that don't rely on outside or external variables or things that honestly don't serve you or give back to you. Life wants to give back to you. God wants to give back to you. The universe wants to give back to you. It's been hard for life to give back to you because your life has been full of heavier or dense energies, and it doesn't mean it's wrong or bad. It means it's now heavier or dense, and at one time may not have been, but it is now because your vibration has changed. The wheel of fortune has turned. You are shifting. These things no longer align, so they do feel heavy. They do feel dull. They do feel intense, where at one time they might not have. And that's why I'm saying it's not wrong or bad. It's that you have changed, you have grown, and these no longer fit the mold. And it's time for you to break that mold and shift into your truer, higher next embodiment. As difficult as it is for our human selves, I truly feel the kind of depth of winter in this reading because it feels like, again, that great healing. It reminds me of that song Back to December of Taylor Swift. If you don't know that song, I encourage you to look it up. I rarely get songs, so I encourage you to look it up. But it kind of has that, like, that beautiful melancholy vibe of reflection, but honoring, remembering in a beautiful way. But in that song, Taylor Swift isn't acting like, she's not now unhappy and insecure and in turmoil anymore. She's moved through that, but she's moved through it enough to be on the other side and to be able to reflect and look back at the beauty that was there, but that no longer serves. Okay? So let's move in because we've been, I've already gotten into so much of the reading, but hardly touched on the cards. I've just been honoring the energy, but it's saying trust that. Take a look at this card. I want you to see the energy that's here. See all the darkness and the dullness and the gray that's behind that woman who's in color? And it feels like she is, the emotions that are coming through here. She is mourning her old life. She's at the funeral, the procession of her past, of her old self, of her old identity. Whew, I might have to stop this reading for a second. Allow yourself, first of all, honor that inkling because you do know that it's time to let that go. You do know it's time to let those, whether old habits die hard, right? Maybe it's time to let the old ways die. That's Bradley Cooper, I think it might be called Maybe It's Time to Let the Old Ways Die from A Star is Born, another song. Like I said, I rarely get songs, so, but there's something in that for you. It's time to let the old ways die. She's mourning. But you know what? Do you notice what's interesting about this card? She's in color. She's grown beyond these things. She's grown beyond the dullness, the heavy energies in her life. She's grown beyond the people who no longer serve her or the addictions or habits or patterns or whatever that no longer honor who she is and her higher self and her higher calling. She's moved beyond it, and yet she's grieving. So let yourself mourn, let yourself grieve. Surround yourself with support as best you can. It does feel like it might feel a little lonely at times, You can even see the people that are in her life are behind her, and it might feel lonely because she's grown beyond those people, and there are a few people in her life right now who honor her high glory or who she's become. So she might be in the in-between phase before she's actually connected with other people who are quote-unquote in color, or who are of her evolution and reflecting who she's become as opposed to where she was. She's seeing more of her past, but she's also moved ahead, which is why you see her here, but her head is bowed down. She's having to let go and grieve her old life. And if you feel called, do a ritual like a funeral for your old life. Write everything down that you're letting go, that you no longer want to be a part of your life, that you no longer thrills you. It might even be something that hurts and harms you. You're ready to let that go. Trust that. Follow through. The guidance is here. It's saying this is the time. The wheel of fortune has turned. You are no longer that person that your past belongs to. Your past belongs to a past version of you, and she's gone. She's not even there anymore. So whatever was in your past cannot possibly fulfill you or make you happy or bring you what you want anymore, because you're a different person. You've outgrown those things. Gosh, you guys, pile threes. Woo! This energy, I tell you. I feel for you. I feel for you. Leap. It's time to go. It's time to go. You're being called home. You see the girl in the back, again, her past. We're seeing her in the past, and then we're seeing her in color. We're seeing her leap. And what I mean by you're being called home, I don't mean home to your past. I mean home to your truth, home to your center, home to your soul, home to your calling, to your destiny, to your fulfillment, to what it is that you truly want, to the greater vision for your life. You're being called home. The past is no longer where you belong. And you know that because you feel it. You feel it. You can feel that this no longer does it for you. It no longer does it for you. There's another song. I don't know, guys. I rarely get songs, but it's Demi Lovato. You don't do it for me. You don't do it for me anymore. I don't even know if I should attempt that one. You terrible. Don't do it for me anymore. No, but I don't do Demi Lovato or her songs justice. Okay. However, that's the song, that's the vibe. So if it lands for you, I encourage you to look that up. But it's essentially saying you feel it, so trust that. When you're around it, when you're near it, what addiction, attachment, relationship, person, blah, 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 it doesn't matter. All these reflections of your past, you know it doesn't serve you because you feel it. It feels dull, it feels unsatisfying, it feels unhappy, it feels low, it feels heavy, it feels intense. It causes, constant emotional triggering or upset or defense. If you're not feeling good, alive, whole, satisfied, content, blessed, alive, if you're not feeling that, you know it's not serving you. It's in the past. The reason it does feel unabundant is because it is unabundant. The reason it feels that way is because it's the past. It's an energy that has died. It might be haunting you, but it's not even there anymore. It's not real. You've outgrown it, remember? So if you have to do a ritual to honor that and to write everything down and to journal it all out of everything that you're letting go and let yourself feel those feelings and literally do a whole procession for this funeral of your past, do so. If you need that support, reach out to me. You have all of my contact information in the comments, or I'm sorry, the details below the commentary that I put under each video. So this one's a little bit longer, and I think it's because it went very deep, and there's a lot of healing happening here for you, Pile 3, and I want to support you. So I'm not going to deny you because these other piles were a little bit shorter. I'm going to honor the energy that's here, and I just feel for you, and know that you're supported. If a random stranger on the internet, and you might know me, a lot of the people follow me do know me at some level of intimacy in terms of we have some kind of personal relationship. I keep in touch and connect with all of my community, whoever that is, and a lot of it is online. But a random stranger on the internet, if I can cry for you and feel for you, please know that you are supported, even when it feels lonely, even when it feels everyone in your life or everything around you is a reflection of your past. So it's really hard to hold on and to hold out and to move forward. Know that you are supported. Spirit is behind you. This is actually all in perfection. It's supporting what you have called forth. You called this forth. You said, I want more. I want more of my potential. I want to know more of my own power. I want to reveal my abundance. I want to reveal all that is available to me. I want to reveal a future that truly honors me. I want something that makes me feel good and makes me come alive. You called upon this with your own growth. It wasn't done to you. You decided this, and it was therefore done for you. You asked for it. Because what comes through then, even though she's sad, right? And to me, I don't always see this in this card, but for this reading, see she's crying. The mascara is flowing down her face. Oh my gosh, you guys can hardly finish this reading. The emotions here. And it's interesting because it's not a feeling pity or sorry for you, or it's not even intense like grief. It's just like this deep, it's almost like a soul reckoning or a soul recognition that I have for you, and for this journey that you're having. Because it's so beautiful despite how deep and dark and melancholy it might be and how difficult it might be. It just is that there's a depth here that's really incredible and very profound. That's what I'm feeling for pile 3. This is a profound transformation in your life. So even though she's crying, look what's happening. Everything that, new inspirations are coming forth, new insights, new birth. All the things that she yearns for, desires, craves, or has craved or wanted, that's all coming through. That's happening through the shifts that are happening within her. This is the caterpillar becoming the butterfly. And honestly, in so many ways, you've already been born as the butterfly, but you've wrapped yourself up and tied yourself up to that cocoon, and you won't let yourself go. Leap. It's time. You have called this forth. You've asked for it. You've initiated this change, and now it's difficult to move through these final initiations or quote unquote tests. It's difficult to pass the finish line because you don't know what's waiting there for you. You only know what's comfortable, what's familiar, your past, but none of these people excite you or fulfill you anymore. The old ways don't excite or fulfill you anymore. You don't love it. It doesn't do it for you anymore. So that's your one way to know that those things aren't it. Those things have expired. They've gone stale. You've come alive. Now, you might not feel that yet, but that's just because you're still in your old reality. Those old energies are still lingering. But all that new energy and the new life and the new birth and the new and the abundance and the gold and the glory and your highest potential and all of those things come through for you. Oops, I might have to stop for a minute here. I'm already getting notifications. I don't want you guys to be interrupted, so I might have to shift over when I do pile 3. Anyway, all of the glory and the gold and the abundance and all those things you want for yourself are coming on the other side of this shift. If you make it through, you will make it through. If you choose to make it through, get the support that you need to make it through. The clearing is on its way and it's coming. Let yourself grieve. Know that you've already changed. The transformation has already happened. You are the butterfly, but you do have to leap and leave the past behind. So pile 3, I am sending you an immense amount of love, compassion, and support. I wish you the very best. Thank you for watching. If this reading resonated for you, I encourage you to like and subscribe or to share your insights and reflections below in the comments. I also want to let you know I do offer both personal readings as well as coaching sessions to support you, to bring this reading to life, or to support you in your life, in your work, and on your spiritual path. Thank you, pile 3. Blessings coming this winter. Pile 3. Woo! Pile 2, I just did pile 2. It's such a deep, powerful, profound reading. If that landed at all for you, pile 4s, you're welcome to check it out. I imagine it didn't, which is why you're on pile 4. So we will get started. So it looks like you've been through a period of some letting go. It does kind of tie into pile 3, but you've already been through pile 3, I think, okay? And it might not have been as intense or profound. But anyway, all of that to say, pile 4, you've been through a period or a season of letting go, of releasing things that no longer serve you, that no longer support your highest vision for yourself or what you truly deeply want for yourself. You've been through this period of sort of like the healing and the clearing. Now, that yours feels pretty light, and I think that could be because you're at the tail end of it. Like you've already been through the deep or dark underworld level of clearing and healing and things like that we might move through in our lives as we transform and change and grow into our abundance and grow into our dreams and destiny. But pile 4, yours feels, like I said, yours feels very light. So that could be because you're already at the tail end of all of that, or that you just recently went through a lighter shift. It wasn't this deep, dark, heavy, life-changing transformation. If you know the tarot at all, we have the major arcana and the minor arcana, and of course this is an oracle reading, not a tarot, but I am learning tarot and I love tarot. It's like pile 3 was like major arcana shift, pile 4 is more like minor arcana shift. So it wasn't like some big, heavy, intense thing, and if it was, you're at the tail end of it, but you've been through a change, you've been through a shift, and you're stepping into the new. And like I said, your energy here in pile 4 feels very light, it feels fanciful, it feels whimsical, and it feels like you're in a space to be able to manifest what you want this winter. Like the blessings coming to you are meeting your fullest potential. Oh, I do see a sort of major arcana card here. So we'll get to that. So many of you might have been through, or some of you at least have been through a deeper, darker clearing, and you're just at the tail end of it. But we'll see, the other layers of the reading are coming, but I just noted another card here. But it's saying that you've entered a phase of greater potential for manifestation, for bringing in what you want into your life, for actualizing the things that you want for yourself, for living the life that you desire for yourself, for calling in the abundance that you desire for yourself, because it's saying this is in your energy field. Like this doesn't feel far away. It doesn't feel like something you have to like actively work toward or even build. It actually feels like it's already here. And as you've been sort of shifting out some of these old energies, you're just landing in this frequency, so to speak, where boom, the abundance is realized and it's here, and you didn't really have to do too much because you've already done a lot of that work. You've already kind of walked the walk, talked the talk. You've already moved through a lot of that because it looks like you're coming out of a period, and I know we already referenced that, but I do want to touch on this other card here, that you are coming out of a period of some drastic life changes, and you sort of moved through some of those kind of, it feels like an overhaul, right? A big overhaul of your life. Sometimes we can call it a makeover or whatever, but it actually feels like an overhaul. Now there is a message here for some of you that if you have not grieved that, and you just sort of walked through this part of your life and just changed everything, if there are deeper feelings lurking, or maybe some grieving or things like that you weren't able to give full space to or a full breathing room to because you were just kind of going through the motions and you had some zest, and you're just kind of that person who kind of gets shit done, or does what they must do kind of thing, make sure that you're allowing yourself to feel into these feelings, to allow these things to be fully felt. That way the things clear and release all the way, and that they don't have to keep coming up for air later, and they don't keep bubbling up to the surface later. A lot of times we can get into a habit of changing and transforming and moving forward and advancing in our lives, especially those of us who might be considered type A or go-getters, and we can move relatively quickly, but we're not processing our emotions in real time. Some of you, though, I'm feeling as I'm saying this that you weren't able to. Things moved and changed so quickly that you're finally just picking up the pieces to where you can even look at what's happened. So some of you have been through a whirlwind of a transformation, a whirlwind of change. A lot of things collapsed, so it feels very light, and I'm getting this only now. So like I said, we always have to get into the deeper layers of the reading. So some of you, there's this whirlwind shift of a transformation. Everything changed at once, and you went along with it because you had to. The flow called you to do blank, and to do blank, and to address this and take care of that. The big shifts in our lives often require a lot of sort of survival behaviors, right? If we lose a relationship, we now have to, if we're living with them, we now have to look for a new place. Might even have to save up for a new place, or at least get things in order and allocate our budget in order to make that move. If we have lost a job, we have to start looking for jobs and doing all of the technical aspects of that. Now, if those things, if you didn't have like a major arcana kind of shift in your life and it was something simple, that's fine. But I am feeling the energy here that for some of you, there's a big overhaul in your life, and either you did it on your own and you knew it was coming, but you've kind of focused on the practical, technical aspects of the process, and you're just now kind of looking at what you've created. There's been a huge clearing in your life, and maybe you have bought a new home, or you have moved, or whatever, and you're kind of looking around at your life and you're like, oh shoot, like it's here, like my new life is here. And yet there might be some deeper feelings of grief or mourning that might want to come through. Just allow yourself to be tender with yourself and allow those feelings to be heard, so that way this new chapter, this new era for you can be fully respected and fully honored, and it can fully give you everything that it wants to give to you. Because if you're holding on to old energies at all from the past because it was moved through, very methodically, and or you kind of had to just take care of things, right? I gave the other example where someone they chose it, and then they had to do all the technical aspects of it, and they're kind of looking at the results now and reflecting on it. But for some of you, it was like this whirlwind thing where it's like, just to survive, you had to like gather all the pieces and do what you needed to do and get the life raft going. And now you kind of you're on the island, having got off your life raft, and you're like, holy shit, right? And so if that's the case, that's the case for you. But either way, allowing some of those old feelings to be felt or any old energies, that way you can fully anchor in these new energies. Because again, the change in your life feels like it's a past energy. It does not feel present. It does not feel heavy. It does not feel intense. But it does feel like an overhaul of your life happened at some point, and you've been actively working on creating something new, and whatever it is you're manifesting has already been revealed to you. So congratulations, there's a confirmation of that. And or you're being told it's on its way. It's literally right here. If you just allow yourself to sort of clear out some of this old energy and whatever, allow yourself to feel or grieve or mourn or reflect, whatever it is, there might be something there bubbling underneath the surface that wants your attention. Once that's done, boom, you manifest what it is that's sitting there waiting for you in your energy field. For some of you, I am feeling a new home for a lot of you. Some of you made a move, some of you bought a new home, but it feels like some big changes for you guys that are either already materialized, or it's on its way. Now let's see what else. Okay, so yes, you have stepped in. So a lot of you, I feel like, are just motivated, go-getter types of people, to where you follow the path of your higher calling. You're kind of always listening to the inner whisper. And so you kind of did what you had to do. Step 1, step 2, step 3, all the way to 10, or A, all the way to Z. So you're here, and you're being told and reminded and even like affirmed that you are on the path of your highest calling. Yes, like you've done the work. This is for you. Like a pat on the back and high five. This is the right path for you. This is the right path for you. This is you honoring what it is that you want for yourself. This is you honoring your big future, your big dream, your greater destiny. This is you living a life in alignment to your truth, in alignment with your dreams, your desires, your greater destiny. And some of these things are already coming in terms of what you've manifested or worked toward. Some of them are already here, materialized. I'm just saying, hey, high five. This is what you've been through. This is where you're at, and awesome, right? So for some of you, it's a validation or acknowledgement reading. For some of you, it's saying, okay, just so you know, this is what's on its way, and everything's in good and right order. Everything's been kind of put in its proper place, and everything's going to materialize. Just make sure you take some time to sort of do some self-reflection or self-discovery, because I do feel for some of you, there's something there that's waiting to be seen, known, revealed, understood, felt, something like that. But it does not feel heavy or intense or any of that. It feels very simple and light and easy, and things are coming in swiftly for you. Now let me see here. There's a card here. I might even want to pull a clarifier on. Where's my clarifier deck? Well, if it's not here, here it is. Just give me a moment here. I don't always do this, but I want to pull a clarifier on this card here. Okay. So for some of you, yeah, I love it. These are just cards that are clarifying and essentially confirming everything we've already been saying, that you've discovered more of your power, you've actualized more of your power, you've wielded it, like you already know it, you feel it. Like I said, pile 4s, you're already actively manifesting or bringing in your next chapter, your legacy. And yeah, you're feeling empowered, you're feeling connected, and this is your, again, this is your, it feels like a step toward your greater dream or a step toward your greater destiny, maybe even a big step toward your greater dream or greater destiny. I'm just having trouble with the words, like finding the words to match the energy of what I'm trying to say. But essentially, the best I can do in this moment and what's coming through is, this is the confirmation that you're on the right track, that you're on the right path, that you are wielding your power in all the right ways, that you have done the healing work, and congratulations to you, and for staying focused with your eye on the prize, your eye on the horizon, and allowing things to clear out as you move through it, because things don't have to feel heavy, dense, or dull unless we hold on for dear life and grasp them tightly. When that happens, we can end up in a situation where we are in a situation like pile 3. There's nothing wrong with that, because many of us do it. I've done it. But then there's times in our lives where we just let all the old things go, and we let that overhaul and that shift in life happen. The transformation happens, and we just continue manifesting on our merry way, and ta-da, here we are. We're like, oh shoot, I'm here, and I just, I had to arrive. That was it. And so that's what it feels like for you, pile 4. is that this is your destiny. You're on the right path. Everything's in right order. Everything's falling into place. And there was just that little bit of advice and encouragement that if there is any kind of thing that needs to be revealed, make some space for that. But more, all in all, it's saying you're on the right path. Everything is already manifested or actualized, or it's on its way. And so congratulations. If that lands for you and resonates for you, I encourage you to like and subscribe or share your story in the comments. I want to let you know I do offer both personal readings as well as coaching sessions to support you, to bring this reading to life, or to support you in your life work and spiritual path more generally. So thank you, Pile 3, and I look forward to seeing you next time.